look after a week off?
I like a week off, like spring break. Some people were in all kinds of different places. So, no, it was not our best effort, but it was still pretty good. I thought, we conditioned and met yesterday. I thought, we had a partial scrimmage situation before we left, where we practiced for about an hour and a little bit over an hour, and we scrimmaged for about 50 minutes. We got 64 plays, and of real live work before we left. So we had an opportunity to evaluate that as coaches and players, and then come out today and really get back to practice today, and really the same types of practices today and Thursday, and then we'll scrimmage again this Saturday. So that'll be about the halfway point, right? It's about right. So this is practice 6, 7, 8 scrimmage, and so for some guys it's like anything else. Some guys have the retention all the time, and some guys they need to practice daily, and South Padre doesn't really help that sometimes. That's just how it works. We're used to that. That's part of it, though. But the advantage is that we had some guys that were out. Really, a couple guys, Lindblade, some guys like that who had ankles. Guys like A.J. Hilliard, who was kind of nursing it back a little bit. That week helped him. Caesar had pulled a hamstring before we started, and really that gave him an extra week. He practiced today. So there's some positives and some negatives to that. You buy another week, but you still get the retention, and you still get the meeting time and practice with the other guys. So it's there's some pluses and minuses, but I thought it was good.
What have you gotten from your middle linebacker so far? You got Master Giovanni back, Chivas redshirting. Now that he's
they've been. I'll tell you, Jordan looks a lot more confident, which he should, and he's a lot more comfortable. He played a lot of special teams. He played the whole last game, against Duke, and then played a lot towards the end of the year. We had some injuries, but Jordan looks a lot more confident. Reggie's a very physical player. He was 255, right now. So he does a great job. He's in the run game. Didn't really play the pass much in high school, and so it's really a different game for him when it comes to pass. So he's got to work at it there. But when it comes playing between the tackles, he's really good. Unfortunately, we don't know when they're going to run or pass. Otherwise, I know people would think we'd just put him in when that would happen. But he's fighting to become a complete player. I think the guy who's the wild card right now is A.J. Hilliard. I think he's 230. He's a guy who played as a freshman at TCU, a guy we knew about the transfer, and really a flexible player in there that can play really all three spots. And we've got to be smart where we put him and get him trained. And we still, because you got Donnie Baggs, and so right now Justin Bass is back off that knee. So and Sean Washington has really come on too on the outside as a bigger guy, rangier guy that played a lot of special teams for us. So we've got bodies. We've got to get them in the right position. I think Jordan is really comfortable in there, which is key to that position. Some guys are comfortable in the middle of the defense. Some guys aren't. Some guys like it on the edge, and Jordan's more comfortable in there. And I think he's really embracing the confidence and the leadership part of the position.
Are you trying to get guys to be versatile there? Because I know you guys play 2 and 3 linebackers. I mean, you guys switch. And you got in there.
Well, we'd like to. We're trying to. Just like our philosophy offensively, same. We're trying to get our best people on the field. But having your best people on the field, is not always conducive to the best defense. And so, the guys that play those positions understand those positions well. become important. You know, with Noah Ellis, he's got some experience playing nickel, you know, but he's not a very big guy. He's a pretty good cover guy. He's more physical than you think, but he gives us some flexibility at nickel. We know what we got there. And then, speaking of which, there he goes right there. So, you know, Reggie's, you see why he's 255. It's a big dude right there. But, you know, we know what we got at nickel because Noel's played. And we moved Caesar over there today with Noel Ellis, who you got two experienced players from last year that you know can come in and maybe a little bit more versatile than Tony Hurd was in the coverage aspect of it, and maybe not where he was from a physical standpoint, but we can get there with two guys, and then you know, but you'd like to be able. We're going to have to develop a two deep at linebacker that you know at all three positions.
Anybody stand out for you? Just a big surprise so far? That really surprised you?
No, I think, you know, we talked about the first week. You know, we've got a lot of guys hurt. We've got 6 or 7 shoulder injuries from last year. So, you know, the guys that's plus, you know, like I said, those are pluses and minuses just because, you know, Day we could use it. He's got 2 shoulder surgeries. You know, Jay's got a shoulder surgery. Just a number of guys that were there. I think Jermaine Ifedi has really come on, and you know, he likes playing tackle. You know, so we'll see. You know, he's competing, and the way he's playing right now, he doesn't want to give it up. So it's given us an opportunity to really take the 2 new junior college guys, put them at the 2s, so they can really hone in and learn, and go with Grambling and Cheek in there at guard, and Mike, and then Ced at the left tackle, and then Ben Compton is really kind of a move guy in there. You know, Ben probably would start a lot of different places as a center or guard, but so we've got some flexibility in there, and then trying to create depth with that second line with the 2 new guys, and you know, Stuckey and Lynn Blade, and you know, a couple other guys in there. So you know, we've without the other guys we signed that came in. So you know, I think we're developing depth there, and what we need to do is be able to develop that kind of depth across the board defensively.
You feel Jarvis is kind of itching to get back so he could join the mix?
Yeah, you know, I don't know.
Right
Jarvis, you know, Jarvis been around here a long time, so he's
right tackle?
yeah. So he's. I don't know if he wants to do that. I think he looks over there and sees what's going on, and you know, Jarvis is the kind of guy. You know, he's pretty versatile, and he'll be ready to go in the fall. So we'll figure out. You guys, it's the same thing. Just like I said, you know, the thing about the offensive line is you want to create what we call a nickel, not 5 pennies. The 5 best guys aren't always the best level line. Guys that can communicate, guys that can play, and so you know, we'll figure that out now. But I think the experience right now that Jermaine has or is getting at tackle gives us some real different combinations without having to put an inexperienced player on the field right away at South Carolina. Does that make sense?
After a redshirt year, what have you seen from James White? How does he fit in your back?
Yeah, he looks good. I tell you where he's been good is his special team stuff. He's been real good. You know, he can look pretty good back there, but those other 3 guys are pretty good too. You know, so you know, he's noticeable. You know, he's 200 and, I don't know, 15, 20 pounds. He's catches the ball well. His protection is where he's got to keep coming, just like any young back. But he's right there with those guys and fighting for playing time. And, you know, we rotate those guys, but I wouldn't. I look for him to be a full-time special teams guy and really be able to contribute at running back also.
Kevin, it would be so easy just to keep Jermaine at guard because he played there for all year. Did he come to y'all and say, "Hey, I want a shot at tackle," or did y'all see things?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. You know, I think it's like like everybody wants to play quarterback. You know, everybody wants to be a point guard. You know, so guys want to be tackles. You know, that's kind of how it is. And but you know, he's shown flashes that he can handle it. You know, he's like I said, came back from break 327. I was on him a little bit about his weight. He pulled his shirt up, and his belly wasn't hanging over. I mean, he's just another big guy. So you know, he's catching up with his body. You know, he's a classic example of a guy that you recruit and really benefited, unlike some of these other guys, from a redshirt game. And really was able to grow into his body, and instead of having to play as a he traveled, he prepared, he did everything but play, and so mentally he was ready to go.
So it looks like a three-man competition going all the way into the
No, what I'm saying is we've got some combinations that we got to figure out, and you know, we know what Jarvis can do because he's started at guard, he started at tackle. We won a couple games with him. You know, we didn't know what Jermaine could do, Fetty, and then Jermaine at Luminor, and you know, and Avery just got here. They're pretty highly recruited guys in tackles and junior college, but haven't played in competition. And what we're looking for are the guys to get them ready, but also have an ability, because we are playing a league game, the first game on the road in a hostile environment, and you know, guys with familiarity in those situations always help you, and particularly up front, probably when you're going to play a quarterback that hasn't played very much, you know, if at all. So, you know, the stability of that offensive line and those running backs, to me, is going to be key for us to go on the road and win.
Kevin, we got to see Jeff working a little bit with Ricky on some H-back tight end stuff out there. Is that something he might be able to add?
I shouldn't have shown you that. That's why I don't want y'all to let y'all stay out there too long. I got to move that in the practice schedule.
That's what I was thinking.
No, you know, Ricky's got that, but he's 238, you know, now, and he's got like something crazy, 6 or 7% body fat. So it's not like, you know, he's just where he is. He's keeping his weight down. He's running well, you know, and he's got, you know, if the medical red shirt deal goes through, he's got 4 more years, you know. So, you know, it's probably inevitable that he's going to be in the 240s, you know, because he's working hard. That six-pack looks pretty good at 238. He's still going to have it at 245, 250, and so he can create some matchup situations by flexing out and being a motion guy. And you know, he's a guy that came to us, and you know, it's always easier when a guy understands where he is and wants to be flexible, and that's a team guy. He came to see us about it, and you know, which makes it easier than putting it on somebody else who doesn't want to be in there. You know, and he showed some things today to be physical and do some things. You know, we talked today about that. We've been around guys like that were wide receivers in high school, and you know, came in at about his size, and then played basketball and did all those types of things, but then ended up being a pretty good in-between guy, flexible tight end, inside receiver guy, outside guy. And, so he's open to that. Now's the time to look at that.